We'll check out the S&F Athletes Back to School event. We'll visit 2 great eateries in the Toyota Music Factory, and we'll meet artist Stephen Fouch and talk about his exhibit at the Irving Art Center. All this and more coming up About Town. Hello everyone, and welcome to About Town. I'm Kathy Whiteman. Thanks for joining us today for the details on the Texas Tenors' return to Irving, courtesy of the Irving Symphony Orchestra. And we'll meet Ms. Mature Irving 2019 D'Augusto Phillips later in the show. As always, we'd love for you to give us your feedback. Tell us about events going on around the community, interesting people we should profile, or stories you'd like to see on the show. You can email us at ictn@cityofirving.org or connect with us on social media. So please subscribe to our YouTube channel, like us on Facebook, and follow us on Twitter. We'd love to hear from you. S&F Athletes wanted to make sure Irving school kids had what they needed to get ready for school. Susan Stevens was there for their socially distanced back to school event.
We have our second annual community celebrations, our back to school event. Due to the pandemic, we have the drive-through.
This pandemic has caused a lot of parents to not work, not have a job, so this is our way of giving back, helping. So what we're doing is giving backpacks with school supplies in them and a little bit of snacks, and then we're also giving away boxes of food that they will be able, a week, a box of food that they will be able to use as well.
We're very fortunate to have people come together and work with our young kids and our students to make sure that they have the necessities they need to get back to school. You know, passing out these book bags and making sure that they get excited about school and they have the tools. And a lot of them, it's going to be a new way of doing business. Some of it will be done through Zoom, some will be done on other methods, and some will be done in person. But we want to make sure that the kids get excited about school again.
I think it's going great. You know, it's hot, but it's going great.
We have a mixture of families coming from Irving, Mesquite, Dallas, Forney, Cedar Hill. So it's not just Irving. Our focus is Irving, but we are servicing them in the Metroplex. This is our 8th year being in existence. So our focus is to be able to help and serve. We offer a after-school mentoring program to youth from 8th grade on down. So, and a lot of the kids we deal with are at-risk kids or kids that's coming from low-income families. So what we're wanting to do is to be able to offer a service and offer opportunities for them to be able to get school supplies if they need them, or offer them services that they would need in the future. And that's really our focus, is to make sure that we take care of those families that is in need.
It means a lot when you're in a situation where you have to ask for help. You have to humble yourself, ask for help, and it feels great to be in a position now to where I could give back. There's so many years that I was that parent who needed the help. And so just being able to give back, it's wonderful.
Just seeing these families smile and say thank you, and that's a wonderful thing. You know, when you putting something in their car and they saying thank you, it's a blessing.
I'm a servant, you know, overall. I enjoy helping people. With Modeltude Agency, that's what we're all about. It's inspire, involve, and impact. And that's what we're doing for our community and our children. We're investing. So this is an investment into their future.
The greatest thing that people can do is just be kind to one another, because there's been a lot of challenges in the fact that people haven't been together, and they've been kind of in their own little cocoon, and now they're going to be getting back out, and I think it's an opportunity for everyone to be involved, but be patient, be kind, and be willing to work together.
If you'd like to learn about opportunities to volunteer with skills and faith athletes, visit sfathletes.com. Toyota Music Factory has a ton of great restaurants, and several are open for business. In this week's edition of Restaurants to Go, Susan revisits Nosh and Bottle and Pop Factory.
Nosh and Bottle at Toyota Music Factory is still satisfying appetites with quality foods both at their comfortable living room style dining room and to go. They have something for everyone, offering a wide selection of cheeses, wines, and gourmet dishes. Enjoy one of their popular artisan cheese boards or mix things up with their breakfast options served every morning. If you're on the go, shop around and purchase any of their market store items like fresh cut meats or bottles of wine. Nosh and Bottle is open every day from 8 a.m. to 11:30 p.m. For delivery, use DoorDash or Grubhub. And for takeout, visit noshandbottle.com or call 469-442-0808 to order. Cool down and have a sweet treat at the Pop Factory at the Toyota Music Factory. Pop Factory serves all natural fruit bars. They have 26 flavors that are made with fresh ingredients created in their flavor lab, using whole fruit packed with vitamins and fiber and contain no artificial flavors, colors, or sweeteners. Pop Factory is open 7 days a week. For delivery, use Uber Eats. And visit popfactory.com or call 469-499-3095 for more information. Both Nosh and Bottle and Pop Factory are following all the CDC health guidelines. For About Town, this is Susan Stevens.
Learn more at noshandbottle.com and pop-factory.com. Like so many great things that COVID-19 put the kibosh on this year, the Texas tenors were returning to Irving. Well, not to worry, because the Irving Symphony has gotten very creative and you're going to get a chance to see them in person. Joining me via Zoom are Maestro Hector Guzman and the Texas tenors Marcus Collins. Thank you guys so much for being here with me this afternoon.
Thank you, our pleasure.
Glad to be here.
Well, I haven't seen you in quite a while, Marcus. You look exactly the same.
And now, that's not true. Now, I was saying that you look exactly the same. You look beautiful as always, and thank you so much for having us on here.
And I do appreciate it. So, Hector, I'm going to start with you. It is quite a challenge to create a concert in these socially distanced times, but you guys have come up with a winner. So can you kind of give us a little bit of a hint of what you've got planned?
Well, we haven't done it just by ourselves. I have to tell you, the Irving Arts Center and the Texas Tenors have worked with us. They have been incredibly helpful to follow guidelines, but also to really try to make it happen. Because if you think about it, we've been without a concert for months now. So the socially distanced guidelines have forced us to do not one concert, but actually three. So we're putting it on Friday and twice on Saturday. And that way we can follow those guidelines. And at the same time, people can watch the concert and enjoy it, either that or choosing to do a live stream also.
Wow. So you've made it possible then for folks, if they're feeling like, okay, I'm healthy enough, I can get out and do this, they can come to the Carpenter. But if they're thinking, no, I think I still need to be in my house, they can actually live stream it.
Yeah, well, the two performances, the first one on Friday, and then the afternoon concert on Saturday will be only live, but then the one at 7:30 would be live streams. And yes, you can call, get your you purchase the live stream and then enjoy it at your home if you're not comfortable being at the theater.
Yeah, oh, that's great. I'm thrilled, and I know that a lot of people are going to be really excited to hear this news. So Marcus, my next question is for you, and I had the joy and privilege of interviewing you guys when you were in Irving the first time, and so this is a return by popular demand. Would you kind of fill us in on what you guys have been up to since your last visit to our town?
Wow, well, it's been quite a time. I mean, we've been touring all over the place and performed with some incredible organizations. And we've performed actually with Hector quite a few more times. And we're so glad to be reunited with Hector again. But we've performed with the Boston Pops. We were on America's Got Talent, The Champions, which is their All-Stars edition of the show. And it's just been a whirlwind. We released a couple of children's books and a couple more albums. And, celebrating our 10th anniversary with the Irving Symphony coming up is just such a dream, because back then we were just kind of starting out. I mean, it'd been a couple of years, but we were still pretty new to the scene, and now I think they say like a fine wine, you age. Is it getting better or worse with age? I don't know. But no, we're so glad to be back with Hector and the Irving Symphony, and it's going to be a really fun evening of music and afternoon, and this special behind the scenes sneak peek concert on Friday. Now that's a rare opportunity, and we're so excited when people can come to the rehearsals, because it's such a completely different experience.
Yeah, I love the idea of a sneak peek, and I mean, some people are a little weird about it, but trust me when I tell you, I will be there in the audience that night, and I'm really looking forward to it. Thank you guys so much for being here with us today. Folks, the Texas Tenors will perform on September 25th, Friday evening, and 2 performances on September 26th, 2 p.m. and 7:30 p.m. And for that 7:30 p.m. concert, you have the option of actually coming to the Carpenter, getting your tickets to be there live or to stream from home. Call 972-252-ARTS for tickets and visit irvingsymphony.com for more information. As movie theaters begin to reopen, Cynthia Flores returns to the show with great suggestions for you, whether you venture out or watch from the comfort of home.
Hi. There's a famous quote from Mark Twain that says, "Truth is stranger than fiction, but it's because fiction is obliged to stick to possibilities. Truth isn't." That insight describes the new documentary, The Mole Agent, perfectly. It feels like it could be a fictional movie because it's so wacky at times. However, it's a documentary about an actual case as it unfolds in real time for this detective agency. When a family becomes concerned about their mother's well-being in a retirement home in Chile, they hire a private investigator named Romulo. He must hire a mole to plant in the home.
Contra Mercurio y veo un aviso que decía, se necesitan personas de 80, 90 años. Estoy loco, ¿qué diablo? Porque no me convencía de 80, 90 años.
Romulo hires 83-year-old Sergio, who was right for the job because he had good health, good memory, and didn't have a wife that could complain about his 3-month stint of living at the facility. In fact, he had recently been widowed and wanted the job to help him break out of his routine and spark new joy. It was important to the detective that his mole didn't regret taking the job or want to leave prematurely. He needed someone excited about the work.
Tú, a contar de hoy día, vas a ser un agente topo, un espía. A mí me está contratando una hija. Cree que a su madre adentro la están maltratando, que le están robando. Entonces tú vas a ser mis ojos. Yeah. Todo me sirve. Los baños están asquerosos, que la enfermera, cachuchazo, y escobazo, qué sé yo, todo me lo informa.
Informe de hoy, miércoles 29.
Sergio must find his mark, Sofia, and not get caught by the staff documenting how she's treated. He struggles to balance his assignment while also becoming increasingly involved in the lives of several residents.
Rómulo, contabilicé 40 mujeres y 4 hombres, incluyéndome. Todas las señoras me parecen iguales.
Sergio is kind, and a few of the residents get major crushes on him. The talent of Chilean director Mate Aberdi shines through on this project. She has developed a documentary filmmaking style that achieves an intimate portrayal of the characters she works with through everyday stories in small-scale worlds like a nursing home.
Pero no es tan viejo, es viudo, dice.
Sergio. A las 18 horas estuve vigilando para que le dieran el remedio y no se lo dieron.
Ahí no, ni acá.
At the heart of The Mole Agent is pure laugh-out-loud comedy. Sergio is the ultimate anti-spy, an old man who has to be a detective and doesn't take to it immediately. Don't get me wrong, the film gets deep as well. It shows the touching and heartfelt truths of people struggling with old age, connection, and families abandoning them. If you don't shed a tear or two, you don't have a heart.
Llore, llore. Eso le hace bien, llore nomás.
¿Me quiere? ¿Mucho? ¿Poquito? Nada. ¿Me quiere? Mucho.
Está lista la encomienda.
Watching Sergio deal with his own grief and making new friends is pure magic. This is the kind of film that I want to wrangle everybody I possibly can into watching because it's so full of life and laughter. So watch The Mole Agent, and afterwards, if you're lucky enough to still have your mom and dad around, the film will make you want to call or visit them this weekend.
Mándame un mensaje de voz por WhatsApp.
The Mole Agent is currently available on all major streaming platforms. Artist Stephen Fouch specializes in printmaking, but his talent and creativity pulled him toward other media as well. Here's our visit with the multi-talented artist and teacher. Landscape-inspired prints by Stephen Fouch capture his deep appreciation for nature.
It starts with that horizon line, which is in a lot of the pieces, even the ones that are truly abstract. There's still, you can get a sense of atmospheric perspective, I think, even in the layers of the ink.
The work reflects a broad range of expression, from paper making to reduction woodcut to digital art. His process starts with the essentials.
Color and shape, using the tools, keeping the tools sharp, mixing color, understanding about paper and how to tear paper, how color lays down on top of itself, so how you can get mileage out of the layers of color. But I think from the basic is the drawing, because everything starts in the sketchbook.
As department chair and assistant professor of printmaking at the University of Dallas, Fouch is well versed in the discipline of art. But the love of art started while he was growing up in the rural Midwest.
I used to look at comic books and I thought, that's art. And I didn't understand anything. I didn't know about art at all.
A desire to learn changed that, but Fouch has a deep respect for his journey. You spent some time after college in commercial art.
That's right.
Yeah, so tell me about that period of your life and then how this series that's sort of blowing with the breeze in here right now, how that series is sort of a representation of that.
Well, after I got out of college, after I got out of high school, I worked in a tire plant. So there I spent 12 hours at a time on an assembly line, which really made sense when I discovered printmaking, because my love of art and then that practical, that blue collar background, they came together and found my calling. And I graduated from the University of Notre Dame in 2007 with my MFA, hoping to teach. Well, things don't always work out exactly like you want it to, so I started working in a commercial screen printing shop, all t-shirts, and they set me down at a computer next to an 18-year-old who was doing pre-press work in Adobe Illustrator. And he taught me more in a month than I had learned in school. So I got really proficient at certain things. So with this piece, each little shape is a vector object in Illustrator. And so every dot that you see there, I manipulated by hand inside of the file.
When you created the series, you were dealing with a difficult, you shared with me, a difficult time in your life. Can you talk a little bit about it?
Well, my wife is my mentor, my muse, and she's the smartest person I know. But this whole idea of, like I explained to you, my friend was killed and then my son was born just a month later. And that idea of joy and sadness, it seems totally cliche in art, this juxtaposition of those two things. But my wife, I was talking to her about it, and I'm like, well, it's kind of cliche. And she's like, yeah, but you should embrace cliche, go straight at it until you come through the other side of it, and then that's when you have something novel. So that's sort of what I did here. I just embraced that, idea of the basic principle of life is that we kind of move back and forth between, happiness and sadness, and then if you're lucky, you find long periods in between of contentment, or mindfulness, or however you want to look at that.
Fouch carried that idea through to the framing of the series.
That feeling of when you are going through a super emotional experience, there is kind of a feeling that you're being moved. Something beyond you is controlling your path. You feel like you're being pushed or blown by something outside of yourself.
The perspective that art is an expression of life's most profound lessons is one that Fouch shares in his teaching. And he knows his students teach him too.
So if you want to be humbled, teach. That's why I love it too. Being around young people it's exciting, and especially young people who are learning how to become artists, because, well, I feel like I was just there. So instilling confidence in someone that their experience has value that they couldn't previously see. That's what I love about it, you know. And seeing somebody learn the value of hard work.
This is Kathy Whiteman reporting. Learn more at StephenFouch.com. One of the upsides of COVID-19 is that we get to have Ms. Mature Irving 2019 Dee Augusto Phillips for 2 years. I caught up with Dee to talk with her about what it means to be Ms. Mature in the time of COVID and the fun that she's looking forward to next year. Take a look. Last October, Dee Augusto Phillips was crowned the 2019 Ms. Mature Irving, and she was looking forward to representing senior women and the city of Irving at a variety of events, and then COVID-19 happened. I had the pleasure of meeting her at last year's pageant, and I did not want to miss the opportunity for you to get to know her, so I talked her into an interview. Dee, thank you so much for zooming in with me today.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
When you introduced yourself at the Ms. Mature pageant last year, you had quite a story to tell. Would you give us a little recap of your background?
Okay, so I'm the eldest of 4 children born to Puerto Rican parents. My parents are still alive by God's grace. But I was raised with 8 other double first cousins. So we were 12 kids running around in a tenement kind of building, 3 stories. God only knew what bed we were going to end up in because we were always all up in each other's apartments. And it was a wonderful life that I grew up with my 12 double first cousins, or my 8 double first cousins, my siblings, and my parents, aunts and uncles. So it was
sounds
great.
Like heaven on earth to anybody who's ever been a kid.
It was.
So you ended up here in Irving after quite an interesting journey. And why did you decide to compete in the pageant?
I'll tell you the truth. At first, I was not interested. I thought that it was, wrongfully thought that it was a beauty pageant. And I thought, well, you know, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Beauty comes from inside. So it's not something I wanted to be a part of. But then Pat Davenport, who was the one who talked to me about this event, explained that they were looking for the beauty inside, and they were looking for people who were happy with their lives and who wanted to make a positive difference in other people's lives. And check, that's me.
Absolutely, absolutely. So tell us what you enjoyed most about the experience of being involved with the other ladies and the big night.
It was really exciting. I'm not a person that gets nervous in front of crowds, but the competition was stiff. I'm not even going to pretend that I didn't think, well, no, I'm not going to win this one. But I really liked that we got together. We supported each other. There were beautiful women that had a heart for all kinds of nonprofits that they volunteered with. And so they were my kind of people all the way around. And Pat encouraged us, the staff at the Heritage Senior Center encouraged us every time we got together. And we did it every week, every Friday. We spent the afternoon together. So it really became like the Miss Mature club or something, but it was a lot of fun.
You know, that's one of the things that I enjoy most about being involved in it as an MC every year is there's this wonderful sense of camaraderie and community and fellowship that's between the ladies and the folks in, that are part of the staff, and it just feels so good. So here we are now, after this wonderful competition in the middle of a worldwide pandemic. What's been keeping you busy during this period of time?
First of all, my heart goes out to all of those first responders and those people who are in the trenches, the people in healthcare that are really standing up and keeping this nation and this world together. And thank you from the bottom of my heart to all of you for that. What's been keeping me together is that I know that there's going to be a better day. I know that this too shall pass, that we're going to get through this like we've gotten through so many other things in this nation and in this world. and we're going to come out better people for it. There will be loss, and that is always painful and heartbreaking. But I think that it'll make us a stronger people. I think it'll make us more aware of our frailties and more anxious to get a hold of life, grab it with both hands, and do the best we can with it. You don't have to be afraid to live. You just have to be careful. Use the brain that God gave you and be smart about, don't take any risks, but enjoy your life. That's what I've been doing. I developed a habit. It's because it's no longer a hobby. It's become a habit of jewelry making. I made these earrings for this occasion. So I just kept busy, and I've seen my children. I visited North Carolina once. I'm going to go again next week. My parents are there. So we are taking precautions. They're isolated. We're isolated. We just get together and then we self-quarantine, which is pretty cool. Keep your head up. What's kept me going is that I have faith that this will soon end.
I appreciate what you said about continuing with the hope, and I think that those are words of wisdom that all of us could really use right now, so thank you so much for sharing that. There's not going to be a pageant this year, unfortunately, again, because of all of the COVID-19 craziness, but it also means that we get to have you for 2 years. So see, there's always a silver lining, right?
I broke it.
Nah, it's not broken. It's just better. But what would you say to encourage any ladies out there who might be watching to get involved in 2021?
Oh, do it. Do it, do it, do it. You will have so much fun. Don't stress yourself up about things that you can't change. You know who you are. You know what you got. Bring it and make people smile, make people laugh, make people enjoy the evening. That's what it's all about. You can do it. If I could do it, you can do it.
Bravo, D'Augusto Phillips. You are a wonderful Ms. Mature, and I'm so glad to have an opportunity to share a little bit of who you are with the audience today. Thanks so much for joining me.
Take care of yourself, Kathy.
I will, you too.
Due to COVID-19, the 2020 Ms. Mature pageant has been postponed, but you can still catch the 2019 pageant at ictn.tv. Just select Video on Demand and search Ms. Mature 2019. And if you're interested in participating in next year's pageant, call 972-721-2496 for more information.
Another extremely talented member of our staff is also an excellent still photographer. Here's a look at some of his work and a list of recognizably fun things to do about town. Thank you, Bart. And that wraps up this edition of About Town. Thanks for joining us. Please be sure to join us next time for a look at the Art Connection virtual member show. And we're launching a new series, Staycation Irving. Please keep practicing social distancing and other important safety measures as we continue to support each other through this health challenge. We'll leave you tonight with music from the Four Seasons concert series. I'm Kathy Whiteman. Have a great evening, and we'll see you next time.
With a crazy heart.